Hi everyone, this is Ben Solomon here with Right at Home and another chapter of Ask the Expert series here at Right at Home, where we talk to a number of experts at Right at Home about home care, all different avenues. We've had segments on nursing and care management and accounting and HR, and now we have the pleasure of working with Marce Silva. Marce, welcome to Ask the Expert. And Marce is our resident recruiter. She's been doing this for how long now?
Well, close to 4 years now. Yeah.
Great. So we've got Marce here to answer a lot of questions that she's been getting over the last 4 years around what it takes to become a caregiver.
Yeah, correct.
Especially if you're interested in becoming a caregiver, or you are a caregiver and you want to learn a little bit about why being a caregiver in a home care agency may be different from elsewhere. Again, if you like and subscribe to our channel, you'll get a whole bunch of other options. You get to see all the different videos that we have had here on home care, Ask the Expert series. So why don't we get started, Marce? So tell me, what does it take to become a caregiver in Washington State?
Well, you have to go through a training to be able to be a caregiver here in Washington State. Probably Washington is one of the states that have more requirements when it comes to caregiving. Now, if we go to more specific about home care, right, which is what we are most familiar with, then getting an HCA, which is a home care aid license, or a CNA, which is a certified nursing assistant license, will be your following steps to take in order to become a caregiver.
Okay. So if you want to be a home care aide, where do I go? How do I go about doing that? And what does that really entail?
Well, caregiving, first and foremost, is to care and provide care for people, right? In our case, home care more so tailored to our senior population. And there are different sources or places where you can get your training to become an HCA or CNA. It really depends on the length of each one of those. Usually the HCA is shorter versus the CNA. Usually have the links where you can look for the schools that provide their training. Is usually with provider. For home care aid or for CNA, you can go online and find the schools that offer the training, so you can assign yourself or sign for those.
Okay, and then those links are going to be on the bottom of this video, so you'll be able to have a link to all the different home care aid schools and CNA schools. Now, my understanding is that with a home care aid, it's 70 hours, I think, of 75 hours of required training. Yeah. And for a CNA, it's a little longer than that, right? Yes. And I think also with a CNA, my understanding is that you also have to take a practical, on-the-job training, clinical setting, where in a home care aid, you don't have to do that, correct?
Yeah, it's not necessarily. With the CNA, you do have to do 40 hours of clinical, so then you can actually get your completion certificate for the course, and then be able to take the state exams.
Okay, so first you got to pass the class, you got to do the test, you have to show your skills, and then you have to pass the stated written exam and performance exam through Prometric.
Yep, correct.
Okay, so what type of training? So let's say I come and I do all that and I do that training. Am I good to go as a caregiver? Are there other trainings that are important for me to have, or does Right at Home provide me as a new caregiver?
Yeah, definitely. So, well, if it's your first experience, of course, just like in starting any type of career, it can get a little bit scary when you don't know what you're getting yourself into, right? So with the training that you have within the classes that you do, usually is like practical and training throughout the classes. And when you start working, right, you probably want to have more experience, more skill set. So right at home, we do have throughout the year, we come with classes where you can get more training in different aspects, and just as a transferring a client, right? Whether using a Hoyer lift or a gate bill, a proper way of transferring, or even pivot transfers, so you can get more skills, or maybe dealing with people with dementia, right? Alzheimer's, which is also something that is really common within our population and seniors.
Yeah, I think we have learning how to use Hoyer lifts. A lot of people I know come to the agency and they're like, how do I move somebody who can't get up and move on their own? We have Hoyer lift and Hoyer lift training. I know that's not a requirement in most schools. They don't teach you necessarily how to use a Hoyer lift. You come to Right at Home. We can help provide you with that training, which I know is really important. So in home care, you've got a lot of different settings, a lot of different environments you can work in. You can work in a home care setting. You can work in a skilled nursing setting. You can work in a facility, assisted living, or whatnot. So what's the difference in the care that's being provided when you're in the home versus when you're working in a facility?
Well, one of the things that I always like to say, we're going to be providing care, right? But as you know, just as you are a person, Ben is a person, I am a person, we all need a tailored care, right? So when you're working in facilities, like nursing homes, you will have more from 5 up to 20 to 30 clients that you're caring for throughout your shift, right?
When you're working in a facility or a nursing home, for example.
When you're working in one-on-one home care, you're most likely be working one-on-one, right? That's the name coming from. So you tailor for that specific client that you're caring for. So in a way, is the workload right, can reduce a lot because you're providing care for that one person.
What are some of the special temperament that is important if you want to be successful as a home care, a one-on-one home care aide?
Definitely. I mean, you have to be very empathetic. You have to be very patient, right? Very understanding, right? Being a good listener, it's really important, right? You have to think and keep in mind that our seniors, they can make the meeting, right? And they have been living their life in the way they have been living their life, right? So if someone comes along and says, that's not the way that you should be living your life, that's
that ain't going to get along,
right?
Yeah, it's going to cause some problems.
Yeah. So having that empathetic, being a good listener, understanding from their point of view who they are, what they have lived their entire lives as, right? And you being that, in a way, that outsider that is going to be there to help them keep on living their life as they have been, but at the same time making sure that they are safe and are getting what they need.
Yeah, safe. I think it's really important. Point you bring up, Marce, is that sometimes I know providers, people have a lot of skill, nurses, for example, I know because we have nursing clients as well, come into the home and then they'll see something being done not the way the textbook tells them to do it. This isn't how you're really supposed to transfer someone, or this isn't how you're supposed to do some type of more of a skill task. And that's the way the client's been doing it for years. And as long as it's safe and it's not going to cause any real problems, it's important, especially in one-on-one care, to be okay with that and letting them do it their way. Because if you fight them on everything, if you're not picking your battles for which ones are really important, that's going to cause you some problems as caregivers. And sometimes caregivers are not welcome back to the home because of that. So that's a really important point that you bring up. So what are some of the other things that are really important if you want to work for a home care agency that are really important to be thinking about outside of your skill set as a caregiver, kind of like driving or pets or kind of environmental issues? Can you talk a little bit about that when you talk to people?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the things that we're always asking, or throughout the interview process, right, on our end, that we want to make sure and understand what you as a caregiver are comfortable with, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about matching, right? And that is really important, right? Has to be personality-wise, how you can understand with the client as well, and also understand the surroundings of the client, but also what your limits are, right? Okay. And then on that note as well, it's really important to understand that we're going to the client's home, right? And again, they have lived their life with pets in their home, right? Like I have a cat and I have a dog. For me, they're my babies. They're my family. It's the exact same thing for the elderly. Most of the times that they are their full companion, right? No one else, right? So, it will be great if you're comfortable working with pets, right? Cats, dogs would be great. If you're comfortable driving clients, right?
Driving.
When you are at that age, most of the times, you cannot longer drive, right? And they used to do it. They used to be out and about, right? Being able to go here and there. So they're looking for someone who can do that for them, right? And with them as well. So most of our clients like the caregivers to take them out to grocery shopping, right? It's something that even me in my 30s, I love doing, right? Like that's a way to spend time, just go on grocery shopping. So that's also something really important, having that comfortableness to be able to work and provide that transportation for clients, or working with those clients that have pets and being comfortable around pets. Of course, that also goes down to, if that's definitely something that you're not comfortable with, we totally understand that. And it will be a machine again, right? Because we do have some clients that not necessarily require those.
Right. I think it's important you bring it up, being able to do those things that the clients need help with doing. So if you come with skills outside of caregiving, if you come with skills for cooking skills, and you're able to work in the kitchen, I know a lot of elderly folks, it's difficult for them to make their own meals or redo recipes that they used to do. They can't stand in the kitchen for a long period of time, and you being able to be comfortable in the kitchen can go a long way to being really you being a successful caregiver in a home care setting.
Yeah, and you know what? That can also, well, at least on my end, I love food. I love cooking. So on my end, it can build connections, right? In making a meal and then just talking with your client and engaging in a conversation about what you're making for dinner can also come up with stories, and they can start sharing and bonding with you, which is something that is also very important as well for our seniors.
So if someone says, yeah, it sounds like it's for me, I want to be a caregiver. So the process again is they need to take the classes. We have links down below to help you see where it'll take those links. Once you take those classes and you're qualified, what should you be doing? What's the following step?
Okay, so after you have completed your classes, whether for HCA or CNA, or if you're a licensed caregiver, right, HCA or CNA, you can look for right at home or for work settings in home care if you're interested in it, and just click apply, and we'll be connecting with you very soon to start the process.
Okay, so you did it, you connected, and then there's an interview process with Right at Home. You talked to Marce.
Yay!
And then, assuming that it goes well and it's a good fit, then we would then have you do what?
Then after the interview process, right, we also we give 2 assignments for our care staff to complete before we can then set everything for orientation. So the assignments is to fill out our WellSky application and a competency test that we have. Once those are being submitted, which I usually ask them to let me know once they have completed them.
Okay.
So I can review, make sure everything is ready to go and up to date. Then I will be sharing the information with HR or our HR team so they can connect with you and start your orientation process.
And you can orient in one of 3 locations, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have 3 offices. So one is in 5 near Tacoma, the other one is in Bellevue, and the other one is in Northgate near Shoreline. So you have 3 options to choose which one works best for you.
That sounds great. And the last thing I know people always want to know about is pay. So tell me a little bit about what the pay structure looks like at Right at Home and how that may compare with some other type of institutions.
Well, again, it's different one-on-one care versus a facility and nursing home care. One-on-one, you're caring for one client, right? Is that tailored one-on-one care? Max, you can care will be couple care, right? 2 clients, but it's usually that one-on-one care. Now, our payment structure, your starting pay, right, will be at $21 an hour if you're a student, meaning that you have not having your license active as an HCA or CNA. Right?
And this is again as of January 2025.
2025, correct. And then if you have your license active as an HCA or CNA, it will be at $22 an hour. Now, here is the thing. We also think about our clients' needs in terms of the care needed, right? The locations of the clients. So your starting pay can be within the 21, 22, depending on your credentials, but it can also range within the 22 or 21 to 25.
So you can get as much as $25 an hour depending
on the clients.
And then if it's
the
couple
caregiver.
care, it would actually even be more than that.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds great. Well, Marce, I want to thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us and Ask the Expert. And again, if you have any questions, we've got links below. If you fill out, you get your HCA license, or you have your CNA license, and you're looking to start your career or looking for a change, and come over to Right at Home. We'd be happy to have you. Click on the link below. We've got a link to a number of different places: our website, our flip book. There's a link in the on this setting here on our YouTube page below, description. So I look forward to seeing you, and thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching.